I'm much better now that the ladies are back from space.
What were they up there, 10 minutes? And I also think it's fun to see somebody who has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
They're always the most fun.
Katy Perry is reportedly spiraling after Joe Rogan tore her space odyssey to shreds on his podcast, turning what she dubbed a historic mission into a punchline with surgical precision.
Along with PR experts who are claiming the singer may face career extinction.
Because apparently, floating for 10 minutes in Jeff Bezos' high-priced tin can now qualify as a groundbreaking achievement. And the grand finale? Katy lands, kisses the ground, and acts like she just limped back from Interstellar.
She essentially took a roller coaster ride.
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru.
I know, it's laugh-out-loud absurd. But trust me, once you hear how this spectacle played out, it somehow gets even more ridiculous.
11-minute space flight that was touted as some kind of divine feminine gift to humanity.
That was one small step for womankind, one giant leap backwards for mankind.
So here's the situation. Yes, Katy Perry actually went to space. Well, sort of. She hovered just above Earth's atmosphere for 11 minutes in Bezos' glorified soda can, Blue Origin. But don't you dare call it a joyride.
Don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, no one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous.
I thought it was condescending. It was belittling to women.
Lots of other people in the media were embarrassing themselves during this ordeal. Oprah Winfrey actually wept as she watched the all-female team launch into space.
According to Katy's PR machine, this wasn't a rich person's bucket list item. It was a cosmic awakening. A soul-expanding, emotion-drenched, life-altering journey packed into less time than a flop single. She returned acting like she'd just brokered peace with extraterrestrials, then dramatically fell to her knees and kissed the Texas dirt like she'd survived a galactic war. Peak drama. Olympic tier theatrics.
Going up, you said that you needed to go to space to heal. I know you're only a few minutes removed from this.
I feel super connected to love.
Goodness. I will never be.
And the kicker? She wasn't even solo. Gayle King was aboard, and so was Lauren Sanchez, Bezos' fiancée, positioned dead center like it was her bridal party in orbit. The trip was marketed as this landmark moment of female empowerment. Women uplifting women, in zero gravity, just with more glam squads and fewer actual accomplishments.
I've had so many people reach out to me and say, because you did it, it makes me think I can do it too.
You know, it's so funny. She said she's heard from women and girls who have said to her, I didn't realize this is something I could do. You know how I know that didn't happen, Megan? Because it's not something they could do. Because they're not friends with Jeff Bezos, right? Like, take us space!
It could have been a powerful moment for women in science and space exploration. But instead, it looked more like a zero-gravity influencer retreat. 3 wealthy women drifting aimlessly, armed with metaphors and makeup. Katy even brought a literal daisy to symbolize resilience, as if the cosmos had been patiently waiting for her to toss around meaning in designer boots and poetic props.
Let's celebrate female astronauts.
That's the other thing. There has been female astronauts. Let's not minimize it.
And here's the kicker. Absolutely nothing happened. No research, no technical challenges, not even a nod to actual astronaut training. It was just a glorified elevator ride to the edge of space and back. But listening to Katy talk about it, afterward, you'd think she personally halted climate change with a heartfelt stare out the window.
Space! Their message for women was take up space. You guys are taking up too much space.
Let's be honest. She floated for 10 minutes and came back speaking in TED Talk fragments. That's not enlightenment. It's brand rehab disguised as stardust. And the internet wasn't buying it. Instead of feeling inspired, people felt insulted. The entire production flopped harder than her last 2 albums, combined.
Olivia Wilde reposted an image of Katy Perry kissing the ground. She was acting like she got back from Apollo 13.
It's so much money to go to space. Yeah. There's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here?
The memes detonated instantly. That dramatic ground kiss became comedy gold. Even Joe Rogan chimed in, dismantling the whole thing like it was a high-budget school play. Because let's face it, this wasn't about science or women in STEM or exploration. It was Katy Perry trying to spin a soft rebrand in zero gravity, praying people would forget her musical dry spell and mushroom costume era.
That second, they added me to space. I'm bringing this. It was in my bag, and I was like on the subway, and I got the text, and they were like, "Do you want to go to space?" So
she aimed for an epic comeback moment and landed squarely in cringe territory. Joe Rogan didn't just critique the spectacle, he scalped it. Calm, surgical, and with the finesse of someone slicing through a cake labeled delusional. Sitting. Across from Tim Dillon, Rogan didn't even raise an eyebrow. His reaction was less outrage, more quiet horror.
Stewart, God bless Martha Stewart. He posted something online because she went up in a flight that achieved zero gravity.
I boarded a Boeing 727 aircraft called G-Force One and experienced what astronauts feel when they reach zero gravity.
Then came the moment that popped the whole balloon. Rogan's deadpan question. What exactly were her findings? He honed in on it like a man who's watched one too many self-important documentaries. The daisy she brought? Not a symbol of resilience, he said, but a dead flower cut from its roots. A limp metaphor clutched by a pop star pretending she'd just rewritten the rules of astronautics.
Upset. Had a few things that she needed to explain to those of us who don't understand what a hero
Then came the quiet gut punch, the unspoken comparison between Katy Perry and actual astronauts. Joe Rogan didn't have to say cosplay. It was etched into every skeptical look. Real astronauts endure years of training, face life-threatening risks, operate complex machinery, and sometimes don't make it home. Katy? She drifted in a luxury pod on autopilot, landed smoother than an Amazon delivery, and spent the ride pressing no buttons, just channeling vibes, camera poses, and spiritual sound bites.
Nothing frivolous about what we did. Let's see how it went on board the Blue Origin spacecraft.
Flynn, I got
with her daisy.
I got you, Flynn.
What made it sting was that Joe wasn't even mad. He was bewildered, genuinely confused that a billionaire joyride with a fading pop star could be wrapped in empowerment rhetoric and sold as a feminist milestone. And the worst part? He wasn't wrong. It wasn't hate that hit, it was precision. The internet didn't react because they were offended. They reacted because the whole thing rang hollow.
On next level, the montage of them about them.
There, it's dark. It's like death.
And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me.
Flowers for me. I brought a daisy because I have so much love for my daughter Daisy, and I have so much love for...
And just when the memes were hitting their peak and the internet had sharpened its claws, the FAA stepped in with the final blow. Official, emotionless, and devastating. They confirmed what everyone was already joking about. Katy Perry is not an astronaut. Neither is Gayle King. Definitely not Lauren Sanchez. By definition, you only earn that title if you perform safety-critical tasks during the flight.
I can do this. I was telling these guys, I might even now get my ears pierced. I've never gotten my ears pierced because that hurts.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space.
It wasn't brutal because it was mean. It was brutal because it was clinical. The FAA didn't dunk. They simply corrected the record. No one on that flight had any operational responsibility. The rocket flew itself. They were passengers, not pilots. And just like that, the whole astronaut girl gang narrative collapsed under the weight of technical reality.
None of the people in this capsule could actually operate anything. It was all being remotely controlled. So it was cool. They took a very, very expensive, very, very cool roller coaster ride.
The internet, naturally, wasted zero time. The Taken Up Space crew quickly got rebranded as Taken Up Screen Time. Katy calling them her astronaut sisters suddenly felt like satire, as if they'd all trained at NASA and solved orbital mechanics over brunch. In truth, they got hair and makeup, floated for a few minutes, and posted about it like it was a spiritual cleanse in space.
Lauren Sanchez was also reduced to tears by the experience.
6 women just did the same flight that...
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, I just want to keep hugging you.
We duplicated the trajectory of Alan Shepard's flight back in the day.
Because astronaut isn't just a cute caption, It's a title that carries meaning. It represents danger, duty, and discipline, not daisy symbolism and mid-air monologues. So when the FAA drew the line, it wasn't petty, it was profound. If everyone's an astronaut, no one is. Katy Perry borrowing that title without putting in the work didn't spark admiration, it sparked backlash. Because real achievements don't need hashtags, they earn respect.
If you didn't know, Alan Shepard is famous because he was the first American to go to space in 1961. So we don't celebrate the people who do it as on a tourist trip 60 years later. We celebrate the people who were the first to do it. Gail doesn't want us to say that she took a ride, but that is in fact what she did. She took a ride on a remotely piloted craft. Anyone who denies my achievement is...
The internet? Oh, it feasted. Comment sections lit up like a rocket launch, roasting the capsule crew as Gucci-clad tourists in space. People started comparing the whole affair to Disney's Soarin', just with better lighting and more influencers. One tweet dubbed Katy the world's first zero-G influencer, and that was that. No amount of teary-eyed interviews or poetic captions could reverse the tide. The message was loud and brutal. You can't fake legacy, and you definitely can't earn it from inside a remote-controlled billionaire pod.
Looked so... it was so quiet. It was just quiet.
And now we're supposed to celebrate her crossing new barriers for women, meaning boinking a billionaire and getting a free ticket to space for 11 minutes.
Social media didn't just respond, it vaporized the PR stunt. The backlash wasn't curated or organized, it was instinctual, a collective recoil. The moment the glitter, space metaphors, and perfectly windswept hair hit the timeline, the internet blinked once and said, "Yeah, we're not playing along with this today."
They got in their special Oscar de la Renta designed suits, laid down in a capsule, and came back in 10 minutes, you guys.
And then came the tweet that detonated the whole thing. 4 words, one perfect punchline. Can we send her back? Courtesy of none other than Wendy's official account. A fast food mascot just dunked harder than any talk show host could. It wasn't just a roast. It was a digital scalping. In 5 seconds, Katy's astronaut era was scorched earth.